I'm going to read a story called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. It's an older book, so this is my favorite. So sit back and listen. And what I want you boys and girls to be looking for is to be trying to describe the interaction of the characters, feelings, including their relationships and changes they undergo. Okay? Alexander, Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Vissers. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box. And Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his cereal box. But in my cereal box, I found only just breakfast cereal. Just nothing. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being squished. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Philip Parker was his best friend, and that Albert Munoz was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off and the cone part lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag. And Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds. And Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll. And that had little coconut sprinkles on top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was. Because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist. And Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week I said, I'm going to Australia. Sure am. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot. And while we were waiting for my mom to get in the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy. And then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying I was a crybaby, my mom came back with the car and she scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And I told everybody, but no one even answered. So when we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers, Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes, but then the shoe man said, we're all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. Not. Nope. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as I could be except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Yep, I said it. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate lima beans. And there was kissing on TV. Ugh, yuck, I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. Too big now. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep at first, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burnt out, and then I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony and not me. He used to be my favorite cat. It just has been it's just been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says though, some days are just like that. Even in Australia. The end. That's it, boys and girls. See you later.